sometimes you can be wrong about an idea in a film. And that's okay.
그림이 기가 막혔거든. 애가 침대에 누워서도 자꾸 생각이 난 거지. 그래서 요 앞에 앉아서 다성이가 케이크를 막 먹다가 소리에 막
Hello, my name is Sinclair. Welcome to the Underhold channel, and my Twitter handle is Illegal Priest. What I'm doing right now is just introing the video essentially. I did a video last year where I just talked about Parasite, but I never uploaded it. And it's just me on a couch talking about it. So I really enjoyed the film. This is before it got an Oscar, and so I just found it interesting how far that film went compared to how far I expected it to go. Like, don't get me wrong, I love it. But, you know, just like everybody else, I didn't expect it to win Best Picture, mainly just because it's a Korean film, and I just didn't expect them to make that the winner. Another thing in the video is there was some cake messaging, some messaging and themes having to do with cake in the movie Parasite. I was somewhat wrong on that, but that happens. So what I'm gonna probably do is, after I make sure that this take went at least okay, I'm trying a new audio setup, so I at least want to make sure it's recording my audio. I'm gonna listen to the video and see if there's parts where I maybe need to do another sit down like this, where I explain or recontextualize or correct myself. So that's about it. So hope you enjoyed this talk about the themes and a review and just a straight up spoiler of Parasite. You know, I think that's what this video was originally recorded for, was to just be a complete spoiler of what it's about. Alright, thank you. And if you are staying around, hope you enjoy. Hi, my name is Sinclair, and I'm here to spoil Parasite. Video intro! No. So, I just watched Parasite a week ago. I had an awesome double feature with Jojo Rabbit, which of course was emotionally awesome. Because after I cried throughout about the last third of Jojo Rabbit.
Why are you crying during Jojo Rabbit? Is it all the kids finally get gassed? That's what I kept thinking.
The last third's pretty sad, and I think it hit me in particular pretty hard. So then I was crying a bunch, like the tears of mine are still in that theater. Oh. And then going into Parasite is a heavy movie. And when I was going into it, I really like Bong Joon-ho, I think is his name. He did Okja on Netflix, the Snowpiercer, which on YouTube there's this really cool little Charlie and the Chocolate Factory Snowpiercer theory that's just really fun at a minimum. So I would you should probably check that out if you want to see something fun.
Yeah, I definitely like that Willy Wonka idea. I'm not happy they're remaking it already, Snowpiercer. It's like Jennifer Connelly.
Yeah,
didn't know they already had that movie out?
Oh, shoot. Yeah, so he did Snowpiercer. I like that a lot. It has Chris Evans in it, and there's a lot of themes of class, and I would say even Okja kind of has that, and that kind of makes its way into Parasite. And I watched Parasite just because I like that director, and everybody was saying how good it was, and I was like, is this a horror movie? Because that's kind of how people were kind of saying it was. But when you start out in the movie, it's like this very poor family that lives practically underground, almost comically so. They live halfway underground, and one of them ends up getting a job tutoring for another family that's more affluent. And as the movie goes on, you wouldn't say they're necessarily scheming, but they kind of sort of scheme, but more in a fun way of, oh, there's this opportunity for another member of the family to maybe do a job for this family to make more money for them because they're so poor.
Yeah, the thing I keep hearing about is like a poor dude into a rich person's family or something like that? Was he like get a job there?
Yeah, so one gets a job tutoring the daughter, and then slowly
Like
they
in math, or was that racist?
I think
Or is
it
it
was
math?
It might have been math. I don't remember at the moment. But he sees an opportunity for another family member to maybe get a job with the family, and slowly that becomes more and more to where the whole family's working for the rich family, but
Oh.
the rich family doesn't realize that all the poor family is related.
So it's like, hey, I got a guy. So like he uses
Yeah.
networking to get his whole family connected.
Yeah, essentially yes. But some of the jobs they're taking are held by other people. So there's kind of a
Like
lot of
cooking and
yeah. So like they
Okay.
already have like a family cook, so they kind of sort of scheme to get the cook fired, which it's like okay, she's skilled, she'll find a job somewhere else. So they're trying to rationalize a little bit. They do seem like good people. They're stepping outside of their box a little bit.
but they're scheming
pressure.
to get everyone else so they can supplant them.
It's a little bit cute, but you can tell it is in some ways even outside of their own character. They are good people.
Okay.
And it really likes to.
So when does it start twisted on this family? So the family gets the jobs.
Yeah, so they do get the cook fired, which she is talented. You do kind of get the idea, okay, she could probably make it on her own. It sucks she's been working with this family forever. But it's, still kind of farcical.
The way they get her fired, or just
A little bit of how they each get jobs, and just the general thing of like, oh, isn't it this funny? This family's slowly working their way into this rich family's house.
okay, to like live there and all this shit.
Well, it's just so they end up having enough money to really get by. Because
All right, so you get the idea that this family's slowly moving their way in. They get this like long employed cook fired so that they could replace him
yeah, so it's
with
like
some
a cook,
kooky shenanigans.
then like
apparently.
somebody helping out each of the kids, then the driver, and there is some implications about what happens later in the film when it comes to the driving. The dad, they get a new driver in there, the old driver's gone, but the dad, he keeps making this insinuation of like, what's this weird smell? And he's smelling the dad of the poor family.
Like smelling his poorness.
Almost, yeah. And you start almost thinking, because of the farcicalness of it, are they making fun of poor people in the movie? So at this point, about halfway through, I'm starting to wonder, like, is this going to go in a bad direction of making poor people look bad, essentially, or poor people leeches, because the movie's called Parasite too, and that kind of goes
Yes,
into
there's a clue there that what is a
Yeah.
parasite? Feeds off something else.
And then it eventually leads to a point, make sure it's still recording, so I know she's getting really close. Okay. It leads to a point where the rich family's going on vacation, and the poor family's taking advantage of having the house to themselves. And, they just have a fun night acting like they're the rich family. And
Put on each other's clothes.
Kind of being messy a little bit, but still, they're going to clean it up afterwards.
Do they do creepy stuff like that? Like, I'm wearing so-and-so's clothes?
Maybe.
Because I always think that seems funny, but
It's
at the
that
same time,
type of
it's super
scene.
gross.
It's that type of scene.
Okay.
At this point, we're at the part where they're having this meal.
Or the family is the
They're-
main family is gone.
Yeah,
away,
they're
and
on
the poor people are
vacation.
taking over the house.
And
That's right.
the
They're acting like they own the
housekeeper
place.
cook that they got fired comes back, and she's like knocking on the door, and I think she says something like, my husband's medication's in the house still, he's gonna die, he needs his meds, we can't afford them. So they kind of let her in. She barges her way through. She ends up barging her way down to the basement, opening up a secret door. Her husband's living in the basement, and you start to find out, like,
Because they're the previous parasites.
yes. And he is basically living off of the food she's been bringing down to him. He lives down there. He sends, like, he's kind of hooked into the electrical system, the husband of the housekeeper, the original housekeeper, of even, like, sending, like, Morse code signals of, like, thank you for your help, rich man, kind of thing. Like, even though they live in a terrible situation of essentially a bomb shelter, because it was built as a bomb shelter, I believe, or a tsunami shelter or something like that. That little tiny bit that they get from this wealthy family to them is like, they're so thankful for that little crumb of being able to live, essentially. Now,
The other parasites just pushed them out.
now the new family, it becomes a thing of like the old family maybe wanting to expose to the rich family that this new family's a big scam, that they all know each other and stuff. So stuff escalates pretty quickly into where there's a lot of injuries and things like that.
Like people fall, or
I just remember like people getting knocked out and locked downstairs
from falling, or there's straight up
also
assaults.
the rich family comes back early.
Okay.
So this all happens very quickly.
While they're all not assaulting each other in the house.
Well, they're trying to prevent everything from being exposed.
Right.
So that next morning turns into the little boys of the rich family's birthday party. But they still have those two other people in the basement, including, I think, even one of their kids is still down there.
Oh, shit.
But stuff escalates from there, because obviously people are going to get out and stuff goes crazy from then on. I don't remember the exact events, but it does end up at this birthday party of kind of the dad of the poor family being put in a situation that he kind of doesn't want to be in, of like kind of being like a clown for the rich kid, and
well,
just
the
feeling
other dad's
like,
I smell your poor stink.
yeah, there's stuff like that too. And the people who were in the basement end up getting out, and like the guy who lived in the basement for all those years ends up coming out, and like there's like stabbings and stuff like that. It escalates a lot. And so the poor guy's kid and the rich guy's kid both end up injured. And in like
I definitely like
crux
seeing
of the
kids
film,
get killed.
you have these two dads, their kids are dying, and the rich dad, all he cares about is, hey, give me the keys to the car so I can take my son to the hospital, not caring about the poor dad's child. And that is a really, really heavy moment of like, they have
Like, fuck your kid.
compromised who they are as people a bit, done everything they can, and this rich man ultimately is showing he doesn't give two fucks. Even though he might seem like he does, when it comes down to it, he's not saying let's both go. He's like, give me the keys, I need to take my son out of here. And that's the main point of the film. It does end up having like quite the epilogue after that, because the poor guy, I think he ends up killing the rich guy, but he ends up sneakily living in the basement himself as a way to escape, because no one knows about this secret layer under there. And so if he lives under there, the cops will never find him. His son still knows that and suspects as much, so he ends up seeing when the new people eventually buy the house, he goes to like these hills up way far away and like looks at the electrical lights, and he sees that there is Morse code coming out of the lights like the old guy used to do, the previous person who lived in the basement.
Spelling out the message.
Yeah, his dad essentially writes a message to his son that he's doing well, and things like that. And then you see the movie ends with like, the son literally goes like, I have a plan, and it's like, I'm gonna go through college, and I'm gonna have this successful career, and I'm gonna buy the house, and our whole family's gonna be together. But you have that moment where he goes, I have a plan. And there's a part that's seated in the beginning of the film, or towards the beginning, like in the first third, where the dad's like, plans never work. So you kind of know at the start of that, this is just fantasy. This is not the actual end of the movie.
This
it's
is
his
like
wish.
Fairy tale ending, but
Yeah.
it won't come true.
It's not going to be true. He's always going to be poor. There's no upward mobility, and that's kind of the...
Because the scent is on him. I'm stuck on that part. Like, I want to really...
Mm-hmm.
Like, I wonder how that... Like, you could just tell the other person's from a different class.
Yeah.
And that's because of the...
And a lot of the movie is about the
themselves.
fact that the loss of upward mobility in society.
Mm.
That it's just gone. It's a fake dream. It doesn't really exist anymore.
Yeah, you can't really go do this thing anymore.
And I guess there's not really too much more to say other than that. Really good performances. It's really funny. It does get fairly bloody. But it's a drama, dark comedy. I guess you put it in horror because it's horrific situations. It's not like, creature horror or anything, but just horror of life.
Yeah, it's just like where humans can go.
Yeah. That's a lot of it. And yeah, it's a lot about like compromising who you are as a person for
And it's compromising who you are for your family or just for your own gain?
for your family.
For your family.
For or not even gain. It's like just to try and have a decent, an acceptable life. I mean, when they're living in that basement, they literally have people pissing where they live because since they're halfway into a basement and the window's like right here, you have drunks going down the alley and just pissing into where they live. Literally, that's how they have to live. So when you have that type of situation, maybe you're going to compromise a little thing here and there.
Eventually, you do a lot of assaults.
They never turn evil. They never go... Because even when stuff goes down with the other family who lives in the basement, they're still trying to find a way of, like, how can we make this situation work? Mm-hmm. Even though it's a small period of time, they're still trying to come up with something. This other family isn't having it. They're just like, we have some type of semblance of something going on. We just want to live. Fuck you guys.
But they're just surviving. And as the other parasites come in, they're like, oh, it's the fight to for literal life or death now.
Yeah. But that's basically it. I think we're good.
Yeah, so that's been Sinclair spoiling up Parasite. You shouldn't let spoilers ruin your life.
Yeah. All right. Later.
We'll catch you on the Underhold.
Okay, so I went through the video. I'm just going to put this as the stinger at the end. The part that I thought that I was going to insert something into wasn't in there. And what that was is, when I was first thinking about the film a lot, there was the stuff having to do with cake. The guy who's in the basement, from the first family, who's the Parasite family, or whatever, however you would call it. That first family of people in the house... That first family of the housekeeper and her husband, they ended up being there because that guy had a cake shop that went under, and he ended up being in debt, and that's why he ended up living in that basement. Now, the dad of the main family in the movie, the main family of characters, the one where everybody in the family's making their way into getting jobs there with this new family, that dad mentioned something about a cake shop that he had going out of business, or the cake shop that he was working at. What didn't come through was that he was talking about a cake shop he had went out of business. So I thought maybe he was an employee the way I was talking about it, and I was like, oh, were they part of the same business? When he was shocked to hear about the cake shop, was it like, oh, this could have been me, and eventually it does become him? But I did misinterpret that a little bit. And that's kind of what's interesting, going back and seeing stuff like this and thinking about that times. The misinterpretation happens in that there's some stuff that's distinctly Korean that I just did not have a context to. Which is, in Korea, there's been a couple different food fads, and one of the most famous ones were cake shops, and they just popped up everywhere, and everybody, super popular. Everybody started, making businesses for it to make money, and they disappeared as soon as they came. A lot of it had to do with a little bit of scandal, but it's happened a couple other times since then, I guess, where really these people end up even worse than when they started for just trying to be successful, They're not trying to be underhanded. They're just trying to have a successful business. And so with that, this should be the end. I also wanted to have this up just as kind of like a snapshot into that moment in time last year. We, even though it doesn't seem like it, we've been working really hard at trying to get this channel going, and we will continue to. We're just people of few resources. And so I thought this would be a good thing to just remind us where we are, that kind of thing too. So thank you for watching if you did. I don't expect many people to watch this one. It's not going to be one of our best vids. So thank you. Have a good day.